In the high folds of the Black Mountain, where the wind moves like a warning and the water holds its breath, there is a lake that does not feel like a place you visit, but a place that watches you back. Llyn y Fan Fach. A small lake beneath the peaks, quiet, dark, and often swallowed by mist. And in Welsh tradition, still waters are never just water. They are borders, thin places. Because here, the old story says, a woman rose from the lake. Not a ghost, not a mermaid, not a dream, but something older, something otherworld. She loved a man. She made him one simple promise to keep. And when he broke it, she didn't curse him. She just walked back into the water and took everything with her. Llyn y Fan Fach lies on the northern edge of the Black Mountain in Carmarthenshire, within what many now call Banno Brycheiniog, the Brecon Beacons. The lake sits high, over 500 meters above sea level, beneath peaks like Pickersdhu and the ridges of the Carmarthen Fans. Even on a bright day, it can feel severe. The path up is steep, the air thinner, and when cloud rolls in, the lake becomes a sheet of dark metal set into the mountain. It looks exactly like the sort of place where myths don't begin, but continue. Long ago, the stories place it in the hills above Midfai. A young man is out tending cattle near the lake. He looks up, and there she is. A woman sitting on the surface of the water as if it was stone, not swimming, not drifting, just there, calm and watching. He speaks. She vanishes. Another day, she returns. Again, she disappears. By the third meeting, he learns the rules. She will not be taken by force, not followed, not trapped. She comes by choice, or not at all. And like so many men in so many old stories, he mistakes wonder for ownership. He wants her, not as a passing miracle, but as a wife. In some tellings, he tries to approach her 3 times over 3 days, learning patience the hard way, until she finally speaks and agrees to marry him, but only under conditions. Not gold, not land. One promise. He must never strike her 3 times. Different versions soften it. Not strike as in beat, but 3 causeless blows. 3 moments of careless anger, humiliation, or disrespect. Either way, it's the same idea. This marriage is a contract, not just between a man and a woman, but between a mortal life and something not meant to live inside it. He swears, and she comes with him. After the wedding, prosperity arrives like a tide. In many versions of the legend, she brings cattle, pale, uncanny, otherworldly beasts, and with them the man's household flourishes. The farm thrives. The land seems kinder. They have children, sons, in most tellings, and for a time it looks like the impossible has become ordinary. But the story is already tightening its grip, because the old folklore rarely punishes evil. It punishes carelessness, and it punishes men who confuse a vow with a formality. This is the heart of the legend, the part that makes it linger. The couple attend 3 events: a wedding, a funeral, and a christening. At the wedding, the lady weeps. The husband is embarrassed. Everyone is celebrating, so he taps her, sharply. Strike 1. At the funeral, the lady laughs. The husband is horrified. Everyone is grieving, so again, he jabs her. Strike 2. At the christening, the lady is sorrowful, and this time, the husband loses patience. Strike 3. It's not framed as violence in the modern sense in every version. Sometimes it's a touch, a nudge, a light blow. But the legend is very clear about what it represents. 3 times he breaks the vow. 3 times he chooses his pride over his promise. And the lady doesn't argue. She stands, she looks at him, and she says, in essence, "You have done what you swore you would never do." Then she leaves, not storming, not screaming, just walking away from the life she tried to live, back into the hills, back toward the lake. And the cattle, the wealth, the blessing follow her. Some versions say the animals simply vanish. Others describe them moving as if called, filing behind her into the water, disappearing beneath the surface. And when she is gone, the prosperity goes with her. What remains is a man standing on the edge of a world he thought he had one, realizing too late he never understood what he was holding. But the legend has one final turn, the part that stops it being just a moral tale, because she returns, not to forgive him, not to stay, but for the children. In the story, the lady later gives her sons knowledge, healing knowledge, and they become famous in Welsh tradition as the physicians of Midfay, legendary healers whose remedies and reputation echo through generations. And then she is gone again, not dead, not defeated, just returned home. Is her story true? Here's where it gets fascinating. The lake is real, a 10-hectare mountain lake in Carmarthenshire, high beneath the Black Mountain Ridge. And the physicians of Midfay are not just invention. Welsh medical texts and traditions exist tied to Midfay, preserved in manuscripts and later publications. What folklore does, brilliantly, is fuse to truths. A real landscape people can stand in. A real tradition of healing lore associated with Midfay. And then it adds the third ingredient that makes a story immortal: the other world. Even the National Botanic Garden of Wales has explored how the fairy ancestry claim became widely repeated and how the legend connects to the physicians of Midfay tradition. So no, you can't prove the lady existed. But the story is stitched into real Welsh place memory. The hills, the lake, the village, the medical legacy. That's why it endures. This isn't just a love story. It's a warning dressed as romance. The lady reacts wrong at 3 ceremonies, crying at joy, laughing at death, grieving at birth, because she sees beyond the moment. She sees the whole cycle. Joy contains loss. Death contains release. Birth contains suffering. And the husband, trapped inside human social rules, doesn't understand. So he corrects her 3 times. And Wales, in its old myth language, says, "If you cannot respect what you do not understand, you will lose it." So if you ever find yourself walking up into the Carmarthen Fans, and the mist lowers, and the lake goes perfectly still, don't throw stones, don't shout, and don't assume the silence means nothing is listening. Because some legends don't end in death. Some end in a woman turning her back and returning to the water she came from.